Hi everybody, it's Tom from Vehicle Visionary. I hope you're having a great day. This is the 2024 GMC Sierra 1500 Denali. That's a mouthful. If you can say that 5 times fast and show it in a video, I'll give you a free Vehicle Visionary t-shirt. In today's video, I'm going to give you the information to answer the question, is this the ultimate luxury pickup truck? That's one thing about these Denali models is that they are loaded with luxury. They also have the functionality and capabilities of a full-size pickup truck. We'll talk about numbers and all that information further into the video. If you want to buy this particular truck, check out the link down in the description of the video to the Mike Morgan Buick GMC website. And the advantages of this particular model is that it has a nice long cab. That means there's plenty of leg room, and the height is good because there's plenty of headroom for the driver and the passengers, a lot of storage throughout. And one thing you might have noticed is that the power steps are at 2 different positions. I'll show you how I did that. There's a couple of ways you can actually do that, but to just do that on the outside of the vehicle, you just tap that button right there with your foot and it goes forward again. You can actually do that when they are sitting under the truck as opposed, no tongue twists, now I need to reset my tongue, opposed to being in the deployed position right here as we see. And there's a lot of different things you can do with that, but let's talk about all of the different features that make this what could potentially be the ultimate luxury pickup truck. No matter where you look on the exterior of this truck, if you see lights, they are LED. LED headlights, LED daytime running lights. You also have LED fog lights. I don't have them on right now, but they are down there. And LED tail lights, and that's not all. Let me show you one more thing about the front end here, is that you have a front camera washer. That's what this is. Every time you run the windshield washer fluid, whether you realize it or not, you don't have to have the front camera up on the screen, but it's going to spray a stream of windshield washer fluid across the camera right there just to keep that clean. Just one of the settings that you have here. You will find some chrome in quite a few different places here, including with those tow hooks down there, the chrome 22-inch wheels, and the mirror caps. And I told you there's a lot of LED lighting. You have the lights here on these side view mirrors, which, by the way, are power adjustable. They're heated, and they're also power folding. In fact, let's take a walk over here to the driver's side door, and I will show you how easy it is to fold these side view mirrors. All you have to do is come right here. You're going to push this button, and when you do, here is what happens. It folds the side view mirrors in. So that's a good thing, a nice feature. You also have the chrome door handles, and you have passive entry on the front door only, but on the driver and passenger side. But that's this button. That's passive entry. So when you have the remote on your person, in your pocket, wherever, as long as you have it with you, then you can use that feature to lock and unlock all 4 doors. You do have a remote start. You can see everything else that is here. You have the power tailgate. Now, it's only power down. It's not power up. So just in case you were curious, that's one of the things about having the multi-pro tailgate is that you're not going to find that feature, especially on the higher trim, or excuse me, the 25 and 3500s that you're more likely to see the power tailgates on. These multi-pro tailgates just don't come with that feature. And LED tail lights, you also have the cab light up there on the cab area and LED in-bed lighting. Get my tongue untwisted again. So a lot of that going on here. One more place where we'll find some lighting to help out after dark as far as keeping things easy to see no matter what time of day you're using your truck. And if you're saying, Tom, no luxury truck is complete without having a growling V8 under the hood, and in this case you definitely have that. It's the most powerful engine available for these trucks, the 6.2 liter V8. It makes 420 horsepower. The torque numbers come in at 460. It's mated to a 10-speed automatic transmission. And your MPGs, what exactly are those? We're looking at 15 city, 19 highway, 16 combined. And here's an easy number to remember, 6.2 gallons of gas per every 100 miles driven. That's pretty easy to figure out why that's easy to remember. And you might notice that the bumper steps or the corner steps are not as deep as normal. That's because this truck has Super Cruise. And so there's a lot more technology built in here. That means there's less space for those corner or bumper steps. And for those of you who might have said, Tom, can you have Super Cruise on the Denali, or do you have to go Denali Ultimate? You know the answer to that question now. And as I show you how the Multi-Pro tailgate works here in the conventional way, let's talk a little bit about payload and towing with this truck. You can tow up to 13,000 pounds, and the payload comes in at up to 2,030 pounds. So here's what we have with this Multi-Pro tailgate. You can use it as a table. You could also use this area right here if you wanted to have something that has to hang out of the bed and you don't want to have it as high up as it would be normally on top of the tailgate. Well, there's one way to do that. You also have a table right here if you want to use it for such a thing, and a bed extender. So that's very useful, very nice feature, but we're not finished yet. I know it sounds like an infomercial, doesn't it? And one thing I like here is the fact that you can drop this area of the tailgate in this position, and it makes it easier to gain access to the bed. You might not need to jump all the way in. Maybe there's something back here in this area that you need to get to. It just makes it easier. 12 tie downs total, 3 in the front, 3 in the rear on both sides. And then we're going to have a power outlet right here. Pretty easy to deal with as far as everything goes. And we'll put the handle in place right there and the step to make it very easy to gain access to and from the bed. And the thing I like here is that that doesn't stop there. You could have the kicker audio system back here. This particular truck doesn't have that. You do have some lighting back here. So whatever the case is, you might want the kicker audio system, you might not. There are some options. And by the way, that is a power sliding rear window. I think for it to be luxury, doesn't it need to have a power sliding rear window? And I didn't show you this earlier. I'll show you the power steps in action. You can see how that works right there. And as I showed you earlier in the video, you saw the position right here. Well, let's see if I can do that correctly. There we go. Kick that button and make that work. This makes it easier to gain access to the front of the bed. So if you need to reach up here instead of in the back, as I showed you earlier, well, there is a feature for that, and that's what it is. There we go. I proved I can do it one time, in case you were wondering. And as far as the interior goes, well, it's definitely nice, a very comfortable armrest, different styles of contrast stitching. You can see the more baseball style stitching there, and then the more traditional look down here on the lower portion. Nice large door bins and plenty of storage capacity. I mentioned that earlier. Obviously, you can raise both sides of the seats right here. Let's see if I can do this from that side. There we go. Because I know a lot of you like to see how that looks. And there's advantages to that. Not only can you gain access to the tools to change a tire if you need to, which there is a spare tire located underneath the rear portion of the truck back there. So I didn't talk about that earlier, but it is there. But you can also use this area when maybe it's raining or whatever the situation is where you want to keep something inside and keep it dry, or just whatever the reason is. Let's see if I can do this. There we go. And another nice storage area right here, there we go, is going to be right here. As far as the in-seat storage and the seat backs, that's going to be on both sides. You also have the rear seat pockets that are going to help out. And even though I didn't use it, you do have the grab handle right here to make it easier to get in and out of the truck. There are cup holders literally everywhere. Here on the rear of the center console that also has the air conditioning vents, a couple of USB options, and heated seats for the rear passengers back here. And as far as cup holders go, like I said, they are everywhere. There's a couple more. Nobody will go thirsty, that's for sure. Now, you do have a conventional size sunroof here. Should a luxury truck have a panoramic sunroof? Everybody has their opinions on that. I'm curious to know what yours is. And with the front doors, more of the same as we saw with the rear. Plenty of space, a nice comfortable armrest, very large door bins, but there is one addition here, and that's going to be the Denali logo right here. You'll also have the trim right there, a combination of the wood grain trim. You're gonna have some more trim right here, and we will also find heated and ventilated seats, power adjustable, the Denali logo on the door sill, and right here on the seat backs. And here is another space for storage, the upper glove box and the lower glove box. I'm telling you, it's everywhere. You also have space right here. And this time I'll use the grab handle to hop into the interior. Now, for those of you who are saying, okay, Tom, there's a lot going on with this truck. It even has Super Cruise. It has about everything you can get with a Denali trim level for the truck. What is the price like? How luxurious is that? $80,940. Tell me what you think about that. And as we look across the dash area, you can see the one-touch buttons right here. I probably don't need to tell you too much about that. There is your shifter. Hey, more cup holders. And if you haven't looked at these trucks for the last couple of years, here is where the wireless charging pad is located. So if you're curious about where that is, now you know. And a nice large armrest, plenty of space to put your arm for the driver and the passenger. It's sitting up nice and high. I like that. That helps. You don't have to lean over to use the center console as an armrest. And you can see all of the different connectivity options here with the power outlet right there and the USB options. A nice little tray to increase storage capacity. And you move that out of the way and there is even more storage. I'll tell you what, storage for miles. Maybe that's the wrong thing to say, but that's what we have. And a quick look across the dashboard, and we'll end that quick look with the area that you may be most interested in. Let's take a look at what the driver's perspective is going to be. As we hop into the interior, we'll take a look here from the driver's perspective. Here are the animated graphics that come up on the screens. It's part of what you're paying for, so I might as well show you what's here. And you're going to have the typical controls and features here on the driver's side door. Now you will find two settings for seat memory right here at a truck that's north of $80,000. Personally, I believe that you should have that on the passenger side as well. There are quite a few high-end vehicles that have seat memory for the driver and the passenger. So let's take a look here at what we have. Quite a bit going on here as the truck is concerned. There's a lot that I can tell you about. I'm not going to tell you every single little detail, but we'll give you the majors as far as this goes. So with the screen here for the digital instrument cluster, that's 12.3 inches, and you can go in. I'm going to show you how I'm doing this. I just scrolled or arrowed over right here and change the display layout. So if you want to change the left side, you can do that. The right side, the lower gauges. You can even get rid of that truck over there on the right side of the instrument cluster if you want to do that. Units, speed warning, whatever the case is, there's a lot going on here. You can do so much. And the head-up display, that's something that I want to see if I can show you. I don't know how well that is going to work because it's so bright out here today. I don't know how well you can actually see that. I'm trying to move that into a position where you can see it. And maybe you can, maybe you can't. But if you can't, I apologize. It's just part of a bright, sunny day. But that's what you have. Steering wheel mounted controls. You also have your paddle shifters right here. And on the rear of the steering wheel, on both sides, you have these controls that allow you to control the functionality of the radio. But I think the main area of interest is going to be this 13.4-inch touchscreen. It has Google Assistant built in, so you can say, hey, you know who. I'm not going to do that because I've actually been known to set off devices in your houses when that happens, so I'm not going to do that. But you can see what you have here. In fact, let's make that a little easier to see. We'll take that off of there, so hopefully that helps. But you can see what all is here, and you can go right here to go into your trailering screen. So much to do there. You can pair your phone, which you have Apple CarPlay and Android Auto here. And by the way, that is wireless. So you don't have to worry about using a USB cable to connect your phone. And one of my favorite things, you don't have to go into reverse to use your cameras, but you can see all of the different camera views here. You have the view, let's see if I can get that to come up right here with the bed. So if you need to zoom in on that for some reason or another, you can. And here is the front view camera. Remember I told you about that front view camera washer earlier in the video? All you're going to do is use this button to use it. And I just brought it up on the screen for demonstration purposes so you can see it in action. Like I said, that happens every single time you run the windshield washer fluid. So if you ever need that, that's how you do it. And then when you notice those two little dots right there, see how you see the two dots? That means you have two different camera views on this particular area of the truck. So whether we're looking at overhead from the front or the rear, you have that. Your side view mirrors also having two different views. There's a little something everywhere. It is amazing what these trucks have, offering a lot of great features and a lot of great functionality. But you know what? You still have the good old-fashioned knob right there for controlling the radio as far as turning that off and on or changing the volume. So a lot going on there. And going into settings, that's something that's very important to know about here. Connections, vehicle, you can see what all is here. The hunt and peck method is the best way to figure it all out, but I wanted to go into vehicles specifically. So if you want to use teen driver mode, here's how you're going to do that. And very easy to use. You just set the code. There's a lot of different things. I'm not going to do a tutorial on that. I actually have some on how to do that here on my YouTube channel. But the one thing I wanted to show you here is if you need to turn on or off buckle to drive, well, there's how you do that. Now, I'm not encouraging you to drive without your seatbelt on. Do use your seatbelt when you're out on the road. But you know what? If I was going to move this truck from here in the parking lot and move maybe over there by the Hyundais on that side, well, guess what? I don't need to put my seatbelt on. It would just be easier to turn that off for changing positions in the parking lot, something like that. There's a lot of different reasons why you might want to do that. So there's what we have with that. There's a lot going on here. I could show you the whole screen. You also have the rear view camera mirror. You can use it as a conventional mirror, or you can use it with the rear view camera. And that is a different camera than what we saw down here on the screen. So it's actually a different vantage point altogether. It does take a little getting used to when you're driving down the road. But once you're used to it, no big deal. Obviously, here is the button for starting and stopping the engine. Like I said earlier, heated and ventilated seats. There are the ventilated settings. You have 3 different settings on each. And one thing that's different as of 2023, you'll notice that you have the heated steering wheel. Let's just hit the heated steering wheel button this time. There we go. You can turn that on or off. There was a time when if you had Super Cruise, you lost the heated steering wheel. Not anymore. Like I say, as of 2023, this is how you activate Super Cruise, by the way. When you're in the right setting, typically out on a road, an interstate, there are some other rural roads that actually will have it work. It's really dependent on the markings on the road, on how well that works, just so you know. You do have dual zone climate control here. There is so much that I could really do a video on the interior only. Okay, we're gonna get out on the road for a quick test drive. And do you notice anything that in the last couple of years you couldn't do with one of these trucks? Tell me in the comments section if you see it. Some of you will and some of you might not. One way or another, these trucks definitely get down the road with no problem, especially with that 6.2 liter under the hood. You can hear the upgraded exhaust back there. Let's see. Don't want to give it too much, but just kind of let you hear that a little bit. It's a truck. It's going to have a little bit of a truck-like ride to it. So for those of you who say, a man's truck has to ride rough, well, it's not going to beat you to death, but it's definitely not Cadillac smooth. So, I mean, that's the way a truck's supposed to be, isn't it? But they have improved over the years to where, well, the ride quality is better than it once was. So that's something that I know people ask about. They say, yeah, a truck's supposed to have a truck-like ride. It's not supposed to ride like a Cadillac or whatever the case is. But this truck has so many great features. Super Cruise if you want to use it. And one thing about it, in case you didn't know, yes, you can use Super Cruise, at least as of, I believe, 2023. Definitely as of 2024, when you're towing. Now, that's with the 1500s. I don't think that is available on the 2500s or the 35s, the HD trucks, just yet. So let's see about our turning radius. Here's a little bit of a tight spot that I chose to turn into here. Am I going to get the curb? Nope, I made it without it, so we're good. And that worked out well. Overall, the interior is most certainly comfortable. The seats are comfortable. You can adjust these quite a bit. Heated and ventilated here in the front. And ironically here on October 26th of 2023, I'm still using the ventilated seats. That's going to change in the next couple of days here in Northwest Louisiana, but we're still hanging on to our kind of spring-like temperatures. It's not quite like it was during the summer, so I'm happy about that. And one point that I really like to make here is, while you have so much technology, a lot of people are going to say that's too much. But one thing about it, it's easy to learn, and that means it's easy to use. I don't know if I said it earlier in the video, I think I did, but you can honestly use the hunt and peck method to learn this technology. Now, obviously, you don't want to do that when you're driving down the road. I shouldn't have to say that, but you just never know these days. But it really is that simple. Very easy to use. This truck even has the turn signal option on it. So when you're driving down the road and you're turning like I'm doing right now, well, guess what? You can turn on your blinkers and let people around you know what you're doing, and even changing lanes and all that good stuff. Nice bright head-up display. That's easy to figure out and easy to use. Just a really nice interior. A lot of space. I mean, there is space everywhere. I showed you all the different storage options. This truck has something to offer for everybody. I'm curious to know, if you are going to buy a 2024 GMC Sierra 1500, what trim level are you planning on buying? So tell me what you think down in the comments section. Is the 2024 GMC Sierra 1500 Denali the ultimate luxury pickup truck? It definitely has a lot of great features and a lot of great functionality. I know there's a lot of people out there that are probably going to say, you know what, Tom, I just want a good old-fashioned pickup truck. Well, times have definitely changed over the years, but obviously you can go with a much lower trim level and not have to have all these features. Obviously the price will be lower. It just depends on your situation and or desires as to what you want, or maybe what you don't want. So tell me what you think. I do want to say a special thanks to my friends at Morgan Buick GMC for loaning me this truck for the day so I can tell you all about it. I also want to say a special thanks to each and every one of you for being kind enough to give me the opportunity to give you a vision for your next vehicle. If you enjoyed this video and would like to learn about additional vehicles, check out the video that's on the screen right now. And if you haven't subscribed just yet, please make sure to hit that subscribe button, and I'll see you in the next video.